All right. Well, hello, everybody. It's your boy El Guapo coming to you from sunny Florida. I figured I would just kind of draw for a few minutes, actually ink, and just have you join me for a little bit whilst I do so. And let me mute this here. I don't know why I did that. Yeah. So just popping on for a little bit. I'm going to share my screen here in a moment so that you guys can see what I'm doing. And yeah, so just a little bit. That's all, just a little bit of time. So without further ado, let me just go ahead and share my screen over here. Share. There we go. All right. All right. So how is everyone doing tonight? How's everyone doing out there in comic fandom? How's everyone doing with their families, your loved ones? I hope good. I hope great. I hope awesome. So right now I'm inking a page from the comic. And why am I doing this? Guys, gals, because I want to show you I'm making this book. All right. And I would really love if you guys came on board with me for this project. Yeah, why not? You know, uh, I'm currently sitting at $550 on the Indiegogo campaign, but I know we could be doing better. I know I could be doing better. Uh, you know, out there promoting, people are sharing, that sort of thing. So, you know, I'm trying to figure things out, what's going on, and these sort of things. Really love to get a little bit more support, but that's okay. All right. Uh, so regardless of what happens, I think there's definitely a learning experience here and some lessons learned on this particular campaign uh, that I am taking with me in my future ones. So tonight is a busy night to actually be even trying to do a quick stream per se. Uh, we have Drawn and Quartered popping off. They're going to be doing their thing in a little while. I see Jim O'Reilly is here. Jim, what's up, buddy? Don't give up on coloring, man. All right? Coloring is a pain in the neck, but you got to persevere. That cover looks pretty smoking, though. I like what you did with that. So, yeah, I'm just doing some inking here, buddy. Working on pages, of course. Yeah, dude, Wednesday is such a tough night, but you know what? I'm tired. I had a long day. Got a lot going on. I got to be up early. I was up early today. I got to be up really early tomorrow. So I figure I just kind of shoot a quick, do a quick stream, draw for a little bit, show people, you know, the comic that I've been talking about doing is actually coming up, and it's coming out. It's coming out, dun, dun. I want the world to know. Gotta let it show. Chango's coming out, dun, dun. It's really coming out. But I need support, I guess. He's a singing to the pro, Caesar. For the love of God. That's all right, man. The good book says make a joyful noise. Jim, oh my gosh, you'll never guess what happened today. So I was out by Cape Canaveral. I was at a corporate event, and I ran to an actual person that is on the Space Force. Oh, Jim, yeah, man. Let's see. Yeah, dude, let me send you that link, buddy. Let me send you the link, the little linky link, so you can join me on my stream as I get the linky link and I copy the linky link. All right, hold on. Right here. No, I got you in here somewhere, Jim O'Reilly. Ah, there you go, brother. Paste. No. Paste. Boom. Sent. All right. It has been sent, my friend. Oh, I sent it to you on Twitter. So you can connect through Twitter, and you can use Google. So you should be good to go. Or Google Hangouts, I should say. My buddy Jim might be coming onto the drive stream with me, and he is a good artist too. So come on, Jim, and join El Guapo, because it'll be real fine. Don't you worry, it's just the two of us. My goodness, Jim, did you get lost? Jim, find your way onto the stream, buddy. I believe in you. I believe you can do it. Maybe I will send it to his Gmail though. Maybe he's not. Maybe he's not getting that. Okay, he's trying to go on there, right? Yeah. So you should be able to get on. Just gotta hit that link. He might be trying to set up his camera. And I still don't have Jim. Where did you go? Where did you go now? Yeah, so Jim is still MIA. So this right here, what page is this? This is page 32, which means I only have 24 more.
Hey there, can you hear me?
Whoa, there we go. We have got Jim O'Reilly with us.
32.
Yeah.
24 there, can you hear me? Oh, there we go. We have got Jim O'Reilly.
Yeah, I got some feedback here. Do you have the YouTube video on playing at the same time? Yeah, you might want to mute it.
Oh, there we go. We have got Jim O'Reilly. Yeah, I got some feedback here. Do you have the video on at the same time? Yeah, give me a sec.
Okay. And do we have your camera on, or let's see here? Camera on. Camera on.
All right, can you hear me still?
Oh, I can hear you perfectly. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yep,
I can hear you.
I saw you for a second there. I don't know what happened to your camera.
You can't see me on there?
I cannot. No.
Huh. Oh, because I have the camera off. I want to do a screen share instead.
Oh, you're screen sharing. Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. You gonna show me the nerve cover?
Yeah. I'll bring it up if I can make that work. Can you see that now?
Yeah. Okay, I got your light box, so everyone can see what's going on. They can see all your pages there.
Yeah, I'm scanning in some pages, so that's why I was in the process. But the cover, that's the cover. I just formatted the page, so I gotta take out that white.
All right, cool. That definitely that looks different.
Yeah.
What did you do? Looks like you had some kind of effect on the bottom.
I did like a glow effect.
Yeah.
Which I can turn on and off. That's really what the area I was having a problem with. It was like I had several different types of glows, and I actually have two versions of the color. Like once I start coloring, it's like nothing. It just doesn't look right to me. I'm like, oh, it's either too muddled. Or,
Yeah.
Coloring.
Yeah.
But I'll do it. I'll get through it. And
So that's pretty ambitious. Are you coloring the whole book?
I'm gonna color the whole book. I am, unless I find somebody that has a pretty decent rate, and I just pay them a page at a time. But then that's just gonna take me a while.
Yeah.
You know, I guess I could pay someone, send them off a page, as I'm completing, keep ahead of them.
Yeah.
But then I'm relying on whether or not the person can get it done. And, I was just thinking, just doing the whole thing myself, whole kit and caboodle, get it done, get it completed. That's the first stage. Second stage, work on marketing. Get people to channel, show clips of the book, et cetera, et cetera. And then the third stage, getting out the delivery of the book itself. So, and I'm sure I'll hit up a lot of the crowdfunding people. People are already doing it. So.
Oh yeah. Oh, we're definitely gonna have you on my Drawstream show.
Oh, be glad to come on.
Yeah.
So how are you doing? I haven't looked at your campaign. How are you? Are you getting there? Or?
Well, it's funny. So on the campaign for Indiegogo, it's been sitting at 550, just sitting there, 10% boom, hasn't budged. I got about a month, like a little bit more than a month.
Okay.
And so I don't know if people are waiting or what the deal is, but whatever. Okay. And then my partner and I were talking. There were a lot of people that, unfortunately, feel more comfortable with Kickstarter.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, all right, I get that. I understand that. I understand that for what it is. And so they actually are I'm sorry, I apologize. It's kind of tired. It's been a long day.
Okay.
and they got that funded. We did that. Let's see, we launched it last Friday night, and we're at 23% funded now, or yeah, no, 32% funded. I'm sorry. Yeah, about 32% funded right now in about 5 days now.
Okay.
So not bad. You
Okay.
know, we still have time. So, um, that it's a lot of work though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I don't want to be because I can only do this part time currently, so I still have to work a part time job, and that's for the benefits. So I don't want to be dividing my time and focus on trying to run a campaign and create a book, and I don't want people to wait a long period of time. So I'm just gonna, keep doing what I'm doing. I'll do some card work, do some commission work, get the book finished, and then once the book is finished, then I'll like really take my time into the whole campaign thing
Yeah.
and pushing the campaign and just doing stages. And I know not everybody can do that. Everybody's situation is different, but
Yeah.
and I don't really have a following. You know what I mean? Like I don't have there are like 39 subscribers on YouTube. So, so I got to build that. Okay.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, I'm at sitting right, like I said, I'm sitting at 32 pages on a 56-page book.
Good. Yeah.
So I mean, I got a good dent on this.
Right. Right.
I'm gonna finish here. I would say probably
Right.
mid-August. So
How many pages did you have like completed, and to what stage, if you don't mind me asking, before you launched? Did you have like a good number of pages done beforehand, or?
yeah, I had like 24 pages done.
Okay, so yeah, so you at least built something.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I said to us, well, 24 pages is almost half.
Right.
So at 32 pages, I'm at probably sitting at about 60% completed.
Right.
So I felt confident that yeah, we can launch because I'm definitely gonna finish. And
Yeah.
then this particular style that I'm working in, I don't have to worry about I mean, even though you got to do the layout, you got to do the drawing and everything like that. But the finishing of it, it's a little bit easier. I don't want to say that because I don't want to take anything away from the style that I'm trying not necessarily ape, but emulate it, which is that Mignola style.
Okay.
But he was using traditional tools, whereas I'm
Right.
working digitally, so it kind of does speed things up a little bit.
Right.
So yeah, it does definitely help the process along to be able.
Yeah, I'm gonna change the model. Like if I get closer, if I'm at like 24 pages and they're inked and they're colored, and some of the words are in some of the pages, then I might feel comfortable doing it and launching it. But I don't know. I feel like I should just have it like completed, done,
Yeah.
and then work on the campaign.
Well, yeah, I mean, especially since you're coloring too,
Yeah.
I think that's gonna
It's gonna definitely slow things.
yeah, it's gonna slow things. So I know that I was playing around with the idea of doing that as well.
Mhm.
And so with the other comic I'm putting out, the Gods and Soldiers, and I was like, man, do I want to do that? So I was kind of like, I took one of the easiest pages to color, and so I colored it. It was just kind of like, all right, how would this look? So let me see if I can pull it up. Yeah, I was like, yeah, we're taking the easiest page, Caesar. Okay, no worries. I can open it. I think no, that's not it. Let's see.
I mean, I have a coloring process down. Like, I watch. I don't. You know who Jason Brubaker is?
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched a lot of his stuff when he was creating Cifra, and he did a nice coloring thing. And I bought a bunch of his like textures, and you can use. He's okay with using. I bought all his fonts and stuff for the lettering process. But so I have a pretty easy you know, laying the flats down is quick. It's just picking the right colors.
Yeah.
I'm not really good at. You know, I could color a piece, you know, or if I'm like painting or something, that's fine. It's weird, but when it comes to a comic, I just get like, oh, that doesn't look right, or it doesn't set the mood. It just drives me crazy.
I know what you're saying. Yeah.
It just drives me nuts.
It can definitely be pretty daunting.
Yeah, yeah.
Why can't I find this thing? Am I not looking in the right place? Hold on. Trying to pull up that page, Jim, but it's oh, here we go. I think it's here.
Got it?
I think I got it now. All right. Here. Here. Yes. You
Nice.
see that?
Yeah. Nice.
So I don't know. We'll play. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit.
Yeah.
So I like the style where you're cutting in. I don't know if you can see like around the eye.
Yep. Yeah.
Where I'm cutting in with harder edges.
Yes.
And then I'll soften the edges a little bit if I want. But I kind of like that technique because it almost makes it feel like what old style comic coloring used to be.
Yes.
So, and I think I may go with that. The only thing that to me is a little daunting with this is when you start like coloring backgrounds and stuff.
Yeah.
So being as how, you know, I'm not proficient in all the effects and everything, you know, I don't know. I probably have to just harken back to, you know, try to figure out how the old school guys did it and using the different, you know, just because they had basically just one color backgrounds.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
But you know, people are used to seeing, you know, all this flashy coloring, which just that's not I don't do that. But you definitely did give me a good idea there as far as checking out Jason Brubaker, because the coloring that he did, it's funny because I've seen like the first. Hey, I see Shinobi. Hey, Shinobi, what's going on? Shinobi likes the freckles on my guy. And what is it, Sithra, or was it another book? I'm trying to think. There was
Maybe
one. Remind.
Yes.
The way he colored the Remind is different than how he colored Sithra.
Yes. Yeah, well, Remind, I think it was his first book.
Yeah. So in Remind, he was like almost like he was showing us like, yeah, I was at DreamWorks and this is how I colored.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you can tell it just looked cool. I mean, he had like all the effects and stuff like that. And in the Sithra books, he's like pulled it back quite a bit, but it works really well. It looks good, you know. But it's a lot. It's not as involved as his work was in Remind.
Right.
So yeah, I don't know. I might color. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, like, I have you know, you have a vision of how you want your book to be, and I don't want to, you know, have to tell some poor colorist, yeah, it looks great, but I need you to go back and edit, you know, and then are you going to charge me for edits? And you know, I just rather I'll go at it myself for the first. And if I don't know, I'm still early. My first thing is just to get it drawn, and you know, get that aspect done and all that.
So, is this story you wrote, or is this the one that you worked with Ron?
No, Ron. I talked to Ron. I told him I'm going to table this story for a little while because I really have wanted to get this out. And I want something of my own that if I, you know, continue to do conventions, I can bring that I've done the work on. It's just I've had these characters since probably like 90s, and I really never developed a story for them. So I have a loose story in mind, and I'm just going along with it. I'm not throwing in any dialogue right now. You know, I have like I could look at a page and I know what I want said on the page. It's weird, but I'll go through and I'll do the entire book like that, just with images, and then I'll go back and I'll add in the story to it. But I do have like an outline and everything like that for the story. So, but they're characters that I've had for a while, and I just really want to do something of my own first. So Ron was really good. You know, he's like, "Oh, take your time. You know, you can give me a page a month, whatever." He's like, "I don't care. You know, I just want to see it done." So I still have this book going. And one of the things that I'm doing is I'm doing all my thumbnails. Like I don't know if you can see my screen now.
Yeah.
I'm doing them all in a hard sketchbook. And then one of the tiers that I want to add into my Indiegogo when I launch it is that someone could purchase the entire story, all the thumbnails. So like they'll have like the very raw copy of the book.
No, dude, that's a fantastic idea.
Yeah. And so like you're gonna see all the scribbles, all the mistakes, all the all the things that people will go, "What the hell is he drawing?"
Yeah, dude. You don't even realize how nuts people are for process stuff.
Right.
They dig that stuff. And listen, so just FYI, what I would suggest and what I heard. So I was talking with Adam, Half-Beat Tucci.
Okay.
Adam Post. He's got that book, College of the Dead.
Okay.
So he's actually on one of the tiers. He has one of the tiers has a book on it, and it's all the process stuff in it that you can buy, like just a copy of the book, like a copy of the book, but in process style.
It's all process.
Yeah,
I could do that too.
Like the sketches, the script is in it. Pretty neat.
Yeah, that's probably a better idea. Even a better idea.
Yeah,
selling it to one person, you sell it to multiple people. Although,
and if someone wants to buy the original one, you know, you sell the original. But
yeah, because I'll have all the. That's what I'm doing now. Is I'm importing all of my roughs, but for the first 15 pages.
Oh wow!
Just getting them set up. Although now my screen is black because the computer doesn't like me. Oh, there it is. Slow moving. Yeah, I'd like to, like with the Indiegogo, I'd like to get enough. What would be ideal would be just to get enough to fund starting to work on the next book.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I understand.
You know, that would be like the ideal goal for me. I'm not like out to make, you know, buku money and, you know, retire. I enjoy doing it, and I would just like to be funded to be able to do it. You know, it's kind of weird.
Yeah, no, and you know what? It's like, you know, there's nothing wrong with wanting to make money. Okay,
no, not at all.
And the thing is, you know, if you're a person that likes creating comics, any money that you make, it's just gonna go towards the next book. You know? I mean, it's just the way it is. You know, I mean, you're buying supplies and, you know, stuff like that. So right. I mean, I get it.
Are you using you're using Clip Studio, correct?
Yes.
Are you using the EX version?
I'm using the Clip Studio Paint Pro.
A Pro, okay. Have you seen the latest thing that you can do with creating a book?
No.
Where you can create a 3D book, and then you can share that file, that 3D book, with people on social media, and you can also put a password in it where they wouldn't be able to view it unless they had that password.
Shut up.
No, I did one. I did a sample one. I threw it up on my Facebook page.
Really?
So if you click that link and you type in that password, you'll see my Inktober book. like this little Inktober book. I have it, the files all together, so I just like created it. And you can post there. You can do multiple books, multiple projects, which I think is a fantastic thing for like your patrons. Like if you set up a Patreon account and you want to do like an exclusive thing that only your patron would see, you could send them that, that book, or even as like a gift to the people that back you. Hey, here's a 3D version of the book, and it's an actual like 3D version that you could flip through the pages. It's really cool. Like I was amazed.
Yeah, that's all. Because here's the thing. One of the things, because I'm going to be putting this Gods and Soldiers out. So I got the first issue done. So
Right.
what I'm thinking about doing is I want to, because there's some things that I'd like to kind of redraw, and there's like one or two scenes I want to spice up a little bit, and so I'm thinking about doing like a remastered version,
Right.
And launch that.
Right.
And so I'm wondering if the pages that were originally printed, that because I made like 500 copies. I don't have that many copies left now, because I sold most of them. But I'm wondering if people would be interested in the first draft of that as a tier, or as a bonus.
Yeah, when I'm done scanning this page, I'll pull up the book and I'll show you.
Yeah, I'd love to see it. I'd like to see what that looks like.
Like you have that ability to export now into, I think on your version, into a 3D book. And you can preview it as a 3D book. But I was like, they're going to do something with this. And because I've been using Manga Studio since it was Manga Studio, or Manga, or whatever. Clip Studio since it was, the manga version. So I'm like, they've got to do something with this. And sure enough, in this latest update, let me see if I can pull it. I love it. Let me see if I can find it here. Might take a little bit because
it's good.
I'm live streaming.
We're learning. We're learning. We're looking at stuff. Let me know when you're ready. I'll just light box you so we can get a good look at that.
Okay. So if you come on, you can do it. Oh, I have it up there. I have like 2 monitors, so I forget where I throw things. Come on. So you see are you on me now? Can you see?
Yeah, no, you're right now.
So for this book, it was just like my sample. I think I might have forgot the password. That's Sacred Book. And what it does is it creates this 3D book.
Dude,
and you can flip through the pages. Like my computer's slow, obviously, but you can go through the pages. You can enlarge it, and it creates an actual 3D book that you can send this to people through your social media. You can send them the link, and they do it on Facebook and Twitter. And you can send them a link, and you can set up a password that only you give them through, whatever, through email or whatever. But yeah, it creates this nice little, and I can make it larger here.
Yeah, I like it. No, that's awesome, dude.
How
much is that? What's the version that you have now? You have the latest version, right?
I have the version EX version.
Mm-hmm.
But do you have the marketplace and all that fun stuff? I don't know if it's with the Pro Edition because I never had the Pro Edition. But I think, if I'm not mistaken,
and
then they can view it in 2D. They can view it like, if they don't want to do the 3D version.
Yeah.
So you can send a comic. It takes all your files and it creates the book for you. And if I can remember how to get the heck out of here.
I love that, man.
Yeah, like the ability to do it has been in the EX version, but only you could see it. But now they've put it where, you know, you can share it, which is fantastic.
So here's, I've got this.
Hold on, let me. Yes. Okay. So where you see Clip Studio Share,
Yeah.
you go there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Click there, and then you'll be able to import your file, whatever file that you want. It'll create the book for you. You set the password. You just have to go through the whole publisher story thing.
Oh yeah, look at
But you
that.
can do multiple versions, and it sends this. You can then it'll actually send it to your Facebook for you, which is great. So if you go on my Facebook, you'll see like I have the little thing that says, "Hey, look at this," you know, Clip Studio is great, blah blah blah. But yeah, this program is fantastic.
Oh, that's cool. Hey, I'm glad that this program actually
Yeah,
has that available in it. Dude, there's so much that I haven't even scratched on the potential of what this program can do. I'll be honest.
Yeah, this program is like.
But one of the things that really like, I actually prefer coloring in this program more than Photoshop.
I hear a lot of that.
And I have the Photoshop subscription.
Oh.
I pay for that.
Oh.
But I like working in this. Isn't that funny?
Yeah, no, that's I almost did the Photoshop. Almost, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna wait. Just gonna wait. And I got in on when it was Manga Studio.
Yeah.
Was that what it's called? Manga Studio?
Yeah, Manga Studio. Yeah.
Manga Studio. And I got in for like $79.
Oh yeah, yeah.
All the free updates.
Yeah, I paid about the same amount too. I think it was like
I got in early.
You know, but still, it was a good deal.
Oh, absolutely. But you know, you can preview that. You can preview your book in a 3D book format. So if you want to see what it'll look like before you send it off to the printer, you can, kind of gives you an idea of,
Right.
Obviously they're using the floppy version. There's 2 settings for the binding that you can use, but I can't say enough about, they don't pay me to say it. I wish they did, but but I can't say enough about the software for creating comics. I think it's
no, it's the best, man.
Yeah.
Nothing like it.
And I know they're going to be doing something with modeling, with creating 3D models.
Yeah.
And doing modeling, because they already have that option there. It doesn't do much. Like you can import a model from another software, and you can add it into your program. So if like there's a vehicle, and you don't want to figure out the angle of the vehicle, you can just pull the vehicle in, as a model, and then manipulate it or whatever.
Yeah.
Just to make make that aspect of doing things easier. And then all those perspective rulers are fantastic.
Oh yeah. I use those. I use those loosely, and I'll tell you why. I don't like. I know that you can put the grids down, and then you can actually make that grid viewable in other layers, so that you can go in a separate layer and draw all the lines and stuff.
Yes.
But I've been doing things a little bit more organically with the lines lately, as opposed to because perspective is weird. Like, perspective is cool because it allows you to draw things like 2-dimensionally correctly, but it's also kind of mechanical at the same time.
Yeah. It takes the art out of it in some ways. It's like a science. I tend to, like, with my perspective, I tend to freehand it, and then if I need the perspective,
and so
guide my eye, I'll use it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how I've been using it too.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's great, man. And so I'm really looking forward to here, let me unlight box myself here.
Should have left that. Sorry, talking to myself now. Scanning in pages.
So your process that you have for process that you use for coloring,
Yeah.
you know, what is it that you picked up from Jason Brubaker that you said, oh yeah, let me do it that way, and have you changed anything?
A couple of things, and I'd have to show you in the cover. Just like I still do the flats traditionally, and it really depends on the image too. Like I may revert to doing other things because I'll play with things. Like he plays with the hues and stuff like that after he's done as well. I really don't get into that too much. But one of the things that using the textures and putting textures into the picture, just trying to. I didn't organize this file, so just give me a second. I'll just turn off everything. So starting from the inks, I don't know if you're on me or not, but starting from the inks, I'll do the flat colors. You know, I'll pick my flat colors. And then once I do the flat colors, I'll create a copy of that, obviously. And that's where I'll do my actual colors on. And then what I'll do is I'll generally put in a shadow layer. I didn't do it so much on the second version of this, but I did do it on the first version. And I'll pick a color and I'll put that over top of the colors, but then I'll turn down the opacity of it. It'll start, you know, and then what I'll do is I'll turn down those shadows until I get kind of where I think they should be. I sometimes do that. Sometimes I'll go in and shadow right on the color stage just by using the lasso tool and the traditional coloring method. So on the second version, I didn't do that. But then what I'll do is I'll add in some of Jason's textures. And I'll either do that, like I'll create a lasso using the wand, like I did it for the background here. So I'm going to turn up the opacity so you can see there's his textures. And I'll just import those in. And then I'll either turn down the opacity to where I want it, or I'll even sometimes create that as a overlay layer rather than just a multiplied layer. But obviously doing it as an overlay layer will change the colors a bit, but sometimes the effects that you get are really nice. So that's really where I'll play with most of my coloring if I do it as an overlay. But for this, I just did it as a multiply layer. And then one of the things that with the lighting, you know, then I'll go in, I'll add in my highlights on the general colors, which is like traditional to any coloring when you're doing your coloring. You know, that's where you know how you did your that eye section of your picture. I'll go in and do the highlights like that, and then I might like fade them a little bit. But then the last thing I do is this glow effect, where I'll put an add glow over top of the inks, and I'll just take a complementary color to whatever is most in there, and I'll add that in, and it'll create kind of like the lighting effect. And it'll give me those special effect type things. Yeah. And you could do that in the lasso if you want to do it specifically on one area. I tend to just go in and paint with it most of the time. But if there's something specific, you can just use your lasso tool and then just go in and paint it that way. But I used to try to do all that on a screen layer, which is basically you create a layer over top of your inks and you color it completely black, and then you change the setting from normal to screen, and then you add in your highlights that way. So if you look at her eyes, it creates that glow effect. And you can see that screen layer on my right. Yeah. All right. But mainly it's using the textures is what I got from Jason, and using that glow effect. He does incredible work with it. I mean, then he just goes in and he takes this image and he'll play with the saturation and the hue and I'm like, no. He gets at all that.
I saw one video where he and his wife were in the studio together, and he had all these papers out and these brushes and on like these different colors.
Yeah.
And he's like creating his own text, but he uses like all different like toilet paper and sandpaper and string and just whatever to create an effect. And he would create his brush for that.
Yes. And that's what those textures are. And you know what? I think I can pull them up for you. I'll show you in the. He has these on his Gumroad, and Jason gives stuff away for like he only charges like minimal for his original Cithra pages. I'm like, what is this guy doing? Like, charge a little more. But
wait, he draws them traditionally?
What he does is he will draw them, at least for Cithra, he was drawing them out digitally, printing them out using a Pentel brush pen to ink them, scan them back in, and then he did his coloring. So he has all the inked pages like that, and they're not big like traditional 11 by 17 comic pages. They're just 8 by 11 that he inks on, and then he scans it back in and does his coloring, which is a unique way of doing comics. We traditionally, how we do it with the 11 by 17 board and blah blah blah. No, he would just like 8.5 by 11, print it out, ink it, put it back in, and then work his magic with the colors. But if you look on my sub view here, and I'll enlarge this, so you can see it better.
Oh yeah.
These are all the textures, and you can buy it as a pack. I think it's like $4 or something like that, $4 or $5. And then you just import those in, and he sends you the file, and he doesn't care about licensing and all that jazz. It's on his Gumroad, but he has those. He also has a bunch of really nice fonts, which are good. I also use that site, the font. If you've ever heard of that? Yeah,
I have.
Yeah, pulling my 100% free ones. I'll pull in and use. But yeah, the text. These are just the basic textures that he has. And I don't know if he's added to this pack. I got this like a while ago. But it gives a nice little texture. I don't like to overuse it though. Like I'll use it in the background, or I may use it on a character, in certain parts of the body, and it just gives a little bit more focus, I guess, to the piece. But
yeah, no, that's great, man.
Yeah. I can't say enough about Jason either. He's really a nice guy. While he was doing Cithra, it was funny. I had a coworker who was a co-manager, and he was really into Kung Fu Panda. Like he would quote Kung Fu Panda every day. And of course, I had found out that Jason had worked on Kung Fu Panda. I'm like, oh, this is going to be good. Let me try to get a commission. And while he was doing Cithra, he actually took the time out to send me a commission for the guy, which was really nice. And he charged me like minimal for this thing. There's a beautiful, Kung Fu Panda underneath like a Japanese podium, inked and signed, and he's, without a hitch,
Dude.
Yeah, he's good people, as they say. But yeah, I like his coloring, like the way he does his coloring is just unique. I'll never get to that level, but
yeah, some people are just very talented.
Yeah, natural.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's great, man.
So how about you? What about your process? How do you approach a page?
Are you talking just the drawing of it?
Yeah, from start to finish.
Yeah. So, I tend to do the layouts. Small thumbnails, probably about 1 by 2 or so, and I'll lay out the whole book that way. But invariably, you always change it. As you go. You go to do the layout. Like this particular page that I'm working on. This is probably the 3rd iteration of it.
Yep.
you know, and yeah, and I work that way. Um, so then once I have that layout, uh, I'll go ahead and I'll just have it next to me, and then I'll do the layout right on the digitally, and then when I'm do so it's weird because sometimes I'll want to print it out and then ink it. So I'll do the layout, then I'll go in and I'll tighten up the pencils, and then depending on how the pencils look to me, all right,
Mhm.
or how I feel about the page, um, I'll say to myself, well, yeah, I think I want to take a stab at inking these traditionally, or I'll say, you know what, I think this will be better if it's done digitally, but I go back and forth on that. So basically, I once I get those layouts done, and the pencils, I'm like you, I don't go super tight on them if I know I'm going to finish it. I just want to have enough information on there so that I can do what I need to do. So basically, um, on this page, let me see if I can just change things up here. Let me see, like that. Let me turn the inks off for that. And turn the inks off for this. All right, so that is what I would call a finished pencil.
Okay.
Okay, and with this particular style that I'm using, the Mignola-esque style, I'm not really concerned with finishing it like to the T because I'm using a lot of blacks, high contrast, and the lines that I'm putting down are more like for texture more than actually rendering.
Okay.
So yeah, that's it. Nothing exciting.
And then you digitally ink over top.
And I just digitally ink right over the top of it. Yeah. Um, and yeah, that's the process right there, bro.
Now, are you comfortable enough with leaving your pencils very loose for yourself, or do you feel the need to tighten down
No, no, I
for
leave.
yourself?
No, I can sometimes when I want to get like a certain emotion right on a face,
Mhm.
I'll do a little bit more detailed pencil. Um, but if it's just like a random guy or like a fight scene or whatever it is, I'll finish it as I'm inking it.
Right.
I don't tend not to go into any detailed stuff like that unless it's like I have to draw a car or a certain
Mhm.
house or something like that. More for the inanimate stuff as opposed to the animate.
Yeah, I find I have to tighten for my. It's weird. It's weird. I feel like I have to tighten for myself, and now I'm even like thinking in my head, why am I doing this? I know I just need to switch to an ink, then put another layer on, and just
Yeah,
start inking.
yeah.
And
Because the thing is, if you've been drawing long enough that if you look like for me, whenever I throw a layout down real quick, I already know what it's gonna look like finished,
right,
or I have a very good idea. Like so, for me to sit there and pencil it all the way out and then go in and ink all the way out over top of those
yeah,
tight pencils, to me it's like wow, you're kind of like wasting time.
I
But invariably, what happens also is that it tends to tighten things up a little bit also.
right,
So you got to be mindful of that. So your initial energy that you get from your looser pencil is going to be more. It's going to be more easy to for the eye to take in because there's a certain energy and life to it. Like the pencils for this page were very loose, um, and I hardly ruled anything out, if anything at all. I just kind of eyed out the perspective. But isn't that that's funny, right? Because when you've been drawing as long as you and I have, you already kind of you have an idea of what perspective, and it just
right,
looks to a certain way. You can kind of really fake it. People
right,
not going to know any better. I mean, yeah, if you put a ruler to it and you started gritting it out, you'd be like, wow, this is kind of off. But
yeah,
you know, but but if you did that, which I have done, I find that when I'm freehanding, it's really not off as much as I think, you know?
Yeah, I've done that too. I'll put the ruler down. I'm like, oh, all right, I caught that right. That line just right.
Exactly.
I got lucky.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I really, it's weird because I really feel like I have to take it to that almost finished stage with like it's not it's definitely nothing I would send to somebody to ink. It's not that finished, but it's finished to where it doesn't really have to be. You know what I mean? But I haven't taken that leap to go, okay, let me just jump into it to inking because I hate traditional inking. You know, like I hate to ink my own stuff. I hate it. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna mess this up. I really like the pencils on this too. I'm gonna mess it up.
It's real quick. I just want to say that Adrian T2099 stopped there real quick just to say hello.
Oh, hello.
Wicked art, and that's it. He's giving a like. Yeah. So that's awesome, dude. Yeah. Yeah, Jim, I'm telling you, dude, mm, you're probably adding you're probably adding an extra 3 hours.
Oh, yeah, probably.
So if you compound that over, you know, a 20-page book, that's 60 hours. If you had 60 hours to draw, what would you get done?
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It's funny because like I hear that in my head. You know what I mean? As I'm doing it. I'm like, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? Like why am I even shading this section? I know it's going to be completely back. Put an X there. Put an X there.
It's like, is anyone going to see this? There's
no
over this, you know?
But I do it every time.
Yeah.
I'm consistent.
Yeah.
It's
like, hard to break, that's for sure.
It is. Like I'll make you laugh. I'll show you the pencils for the cover in a second, and you'd be like, "What? Why? Why did you even? Like, why'd you even go that far?" I'm like, because I hate inking, and I'm even thinking to myself, it's digital inking, just undo, you know? It's like, you're not going to mess anything up.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
That's the one thing that, when I started digital inking, at first I was kind of like, you know, I know I need to do this. I know I need to at least learn how to do digital because it will speed things up. But, you know, inwardly, I hated to admit that it actually was. So I kind of fought against it, even though, you know, I went out and spent all the money to do it and stuff. But now it's like, wow, I don't know why I didn't do this, you know. And so now it's like I really enjoy it. But I really also do enjoy, you know, the ink on paper as well.
Oh yeah. Like I don't like it because I don't feel I'm really that good at it. It's not my strength. Like if anything, my strength would be just doing straight pencil. Like if I could do straight pencils and that's it, I'd be happy. But I even thought about doing a book like that, just pencils, no inks, just really define it out. But yeah, I enjoy that. Like, and I love finished traditional inked work, and I love, you know, to see that. I just, for me, I know I'm not really that comfortable with it. So when I caught on to the digital thing, I'm like, okay, now I can at least somewhat enjoy the inking process. But I still find myself like, oh, I got to make this tighter. This has got to be tighter. It's weird.
It's not that weird. I get it. You know.
Yeah, maybe it's a confidence thing too. Like over time, it'll just be like, okay, or I'll just realize that I'll save so much time.
It'll change your life. It really will.
But then I'm worried that like I'll treat the pen like a pencil, and I won't get the cleaner lines that I get when I do type down pencils. If that makes sense.
In digital, really?
Yeah, like I'll feel like I'll end up using like I'll become more sketchy than like pulling lines. Like when I draw with pencil, I tend to be very, very loose in the beginning.
Yeah.
very, very sketchy. And then I tighten down, tighten down, tighten down. It's almost like sculpting. Like I eliminate lines and stuff like that. And if I don't do that in the pencil stage, what I'm afraid of is that when I go to ink, just out of habit, I'll start treating it like a pencil. And not get like cleaner lines or, overshoot lines. And I don't know, it's just me. It's my own personal little hang-ups.
Yeah, it's just really a matter of having confidence.
Yeah.
And just you gotta know that the tool is gonna do what it's gonna do. So this right here, all right, I'll show you some examples.
Yeah.
All right, so here's
That's beautiful.
okay, and done digitally, the whole thing.
Wow.
Okay, and notice it has a certain style and look to it, right?
Yes. Yeah. Definitely.
Here's another one. Okay.
Yeah. Wow.
All digital, from the layouts to the inking, all digital.
Wow.
This looks a little different.
Yeah.
Okay. And let's see if I got one more sample to show you. Yeah, right here. And here's yet again another one.
Yeah.
So the thing with me that when I'm inking digitally, because I really want to try to make it look natural, like it's hand lettered, hand inked, I should say.
Right.
So what I do to help me control it, I'll do like my outlines, all that stuff like that.
Right.
And then I'll go in and I'll block in all my darks. Like I don't see I'm like right here up where Elite's head is, where this arm. And even here, like on the chest, all that stuff. And I'll block in all that stuff. Fill it, boom, boom. Okay?
Right.
And then that's when I start to go in and I'll start rendering. But I take my time. Even though it's quick.
Right. Yeah, and I don't. I'm horrible with that. Like I said, I treat it like a pencil. So like where you stage it, I'll go in and I might like block an area, and then I'm adding in hatching lines, and I'm like, I should really wait until the end to do all that, and fade it in certain areas and look at the piece overall. I end up treating it more like a pencil in a way.
But
and I need to break that habit because
you need to, because you can. Okay, so when I was learning how to pencil, the person I was learning it from, because I was struggling with the same thing. I couldn't, really get the pencils as tight as I wanted to, and then when I go to ink them, they would look, a little bit different than what I had penciled. And so the person said to me, "Listen, when you're penciling, you want to pencil like you're inking it, okay?" And then the converse is also true. When you're inking something, okay, you want to treat it like, how you would make sure that you have that hatch or that line just the right way when you're penciling it.
Yeah.
You're inking that same way. All right, so that you're getting the desired effect, except that the contrast is way higher when you're inking it. I don't know if you understood what I was talking about there.
I think I do. Like I noticed, like, can you zoom in on his arm, on Conan's arm, the one that he's holding or he has, not where he's got his hand on the axe, the other arm, his left arm.
Yeah.
Sorry. Like if you zoom on that, like even looking at your hatchet lines, like you're nicely spaced, I tend to like be like, okay, quick. It's weird. Like I don't take my time to shape sometimes, even like you curve them around the arm to give it shape. Like sometimes I'll just go really quick, and that for me is like the penciling aspect. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm very loose with that pencil. And it's taking me time to like really do that, and that's why I think I spend so much time like defining it out for me, when I do my pencil, so that I can go back in when I do the inks. I'll see it visually and go, okay, I want to curve that there. I guess I just don't like think about the inks as much as I should think about the inks. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but it's really, here's the thing. When people are looking at your comic, they're not seeing your pencils.
I know.
Yeah, they could,
I know.
if you ever, okay, so Gene Colan, you know who that is, right?
No, refresh my
He
memory.
did Daredevil, Tomb of Dracula.
Okay, yes.
Okay, he's one of these old masters. Gene Colan was like, and you would see his inked work, especially when it was inked by Tom Palmer or Al Williamson.
Right.
The stuff looked great. You're like, wow, man, it looks freaking so cool. I can't believe, that how beautiful that is.
Right.
That's drawn, but you're actually looking at the ink page.
Inks. Right.
But if you ever see any of his colored, any of his pencil pages, the first thing that would come to your mind is, how the hell did anyone ink that?
Ink over that.
How could you ink? Like, how is it even possible? Because the stuff was just like, you couldn't decipher it. It was gorgeous. It was beautiful. It was like, why would you even ruin these pages by putting ink on them? Fortunately, he had master inkers working on his stuff, but they were totally different. Okay. And yet, for all the work that he put in with those pencils to make them look as gorgeous as they did, no one saw it.
Nobody saw it. Yeah.
You know?
It's true. It's true. Yeah. When it comes down to your finished product, nobody's seeing that.
Yeah.
That's why I said the colors too. They can nowadays, cut back when we were not saying that we're old or anything, but back when, the comics we collected and the coloring on that, the coloring didn't matter as much, but now the coloring matters. Like it can make or break your book.
Oh yeah.
And that's why I'm afraid. But again, the inking stuff, like what pen do you use digitally? Do you just use the G pen?
I just use the G pen.
Me too. I have other I have this huge pen pack.
Yeah. So do I. I have all those
Fended?
the Friended pens.
Yeah, yes.
All those. But
none of them.
yeah, I mean, I like tried to use some of them. Like there was some Texas ones, some Big Belly. I've tried them all. All right. But the G pen the best.
That's that. I'm right there with you. it's the only pen I use. Yeah. I even took and created a G pencil. Like I copied the pen and I kind of changed some of the properties.
Yeah.
So that I have like how it tapers off in the end. I like to feel that.
Really?
And so I'll do that as my final when I'm really getting ready to. I'll use it sometimes to like define my lines because it's like using the G pen, but it's a little. It's just a psychological thing, I think.
And you get the great. You get the thick to thin.
Yeah, but it's like I use it in a pencil format.
Oh my gosh!
It just changes
the
settings slightly. But I also use when I'm inking, I use a very high stabilization. Like I'm at 100%. You can make it so that it doesn't shake, so that when you drag your line, it'll basically autocorrect almost.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
I set mine high because again, when I tend to pencil, I'm very loose with my hand. So that helps me with the inking, although sometimes it's a little bit of a pain because it does it too much. And I'm like, oh, I got to curve that line more. So when I did the pencil, I leave the stabilization down lower, so it's looser, but it gives me that same kind of feel as the pen. Again, I think it's just psychological for me, to be honest. Here, I'll show you the pencils to that cover and how far I took. Now, this isn't as tight as I would normally take my pencils for myself. So bear that in mind. All right. You'll laugh. Like I normally take it a lot tighter for myself. Where are we? Just turn all this stuff out. Okay. My notes. So this one is back. Oops. So that's as tight as I took my pencils for the cover, and that's not like I would go tighter with this, like even tighter before I actually ink.
Yeah, but actually, those
This
are
is pretty loose. This is loose for me. This is a heck of a lot loose. Like I'll even put like hatch lines in, and I'll go like I'll like define all the black areas. It's crazy because I'm thinking to myself, why am I bothering to do that? Because I'm just going to ink it anyway. I'm going to turn it blue line and I'm going to ink over top of it. You know what I mean?
to determine what it is you want to do. I mean, the fact that you filled in all that black area there.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
like
if I had done this,
X.
I would have put X's everywhere.
Yep.
I know where I'm going to ink it, how I'm going to ink it, and how to finish it.
Maybe it's because I really haven't had anybody else ink my work. Like I've had, like Mark McKenna inked some of my stuff.
Yeah.
And, you know, like we did that little book together. And I was having a hard time with that because like I knew where I wanted, like I could see in my head where I wanted the lines to go. And then I'd see Mark's like, oh no, you don't have to take it that far. I'm like, but I need to take it that far. What do you mean I don't have to take it that far?
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because you want to make sure that your style still comes through.
Yes.
You don't want to leave it to chance.
Right.
Yeah. And as skilled as an inker as Mark is,
right.
You know, he adds a lot to it. Even on type pencils because he's inked some stuff for me. I've worked on some projects with him also. Right. And he's inked some stuff for me. And, you know, I take it pretty far. You know, pretty tight. Yeah. The only project that I didn't do that real super tight with him was we did this Obama project. Mm-hmm. Obama Binding Bromance or something like that it was called. and I mean the pencils were they were pretty tight. They were probably about 90%. But because of the scene that it was, there was a lot of like power bolt and lightning and stuff like that. I didn't feel that I needed to take it to a super extreme level because it's going to be washed out by the color effects and stuff like that.
Right.
So
yeah, like even my thumbnails I take too far. Like I have some of Ethan Van Sciver's thumbnails for like covers, and I'm looking at him like, that's what he sent to DC, and they approved it. I'm like, really? I'm like, man, I take my stuff way too far.
Like, man, that's what I'm saying.
Stop.
You don't need to go crazy with it.
I do. I don't know what it is. Probably because I enjoy pencils so much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's just a feel of it. But well, like you're right. In creating the book, I'll probably save hours if I can just get at the
you got to get in love with finishing pages more.
Yeah. Yes.
I would leave. I mean, because your pencils are nice. I like what I saw there, but I would definitely. Especially if you're looking at doing more than just one comic, I would definitely look into streamlining yourself because you're killing yourself right now. I'll be honest. There's a lot of time that could be spent doing other pages. Frankly.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. That's you know, it's such a like a. It seems like at least such a simple fix, but yet.
It did. And
look at my thumbnails.
Again, it's not, it's not,
Yeah, it's breaking the habit.
Yeah, but it's a bad habit because you want to make sure everything is there.
Right.
And, there's this project that I'm doing, Gin and Tonic. I did like a couple pages, and I did the pencils super tight, like 95%. Like to completion, or 95 to 98% to completion. And I said, I did one page and started on the next one. I was like, holy crap, why am I doing this? I'm going to be inking this, But there was there was a certain look that I was going for, and I said to myself, well, I may get an inker for this, you
Right.
know, or that sort of thing. And ultimately, I ended up inking the first couple pages myself, and then which is fine. And I went over all those lines, and I was like, wow, I wouldn't do this again.
Yeah.
You know, when you have to ink your own super tight pencils, it's almost like you're just redrawing the page again,
Yes.
and it's like
Yes.
the worst feeling.
Yes.
Because you can remember when you like, wow, it took me 12 hours to draw this page. It's gonna take me 7 hours to ink it. That's like 20 hours on one page.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it's a lot.
It is. It is. I was it's funny you were talking about this, but I saw some young kid, and I won't mention his name because he probably just doesn't understand the industry, and he was like looking for an artist, and this was a Facebook post, and he came out with like, oh, I don't understand why I can't find an artist to help me with this project. I want to put it on Webtoons. If it makes money, we'll make money, and you know, I'm looking, and they want to be paid, and you know, with digital stuff, it's really easy with digital stuff. You know, I don't understand why. And I'm just like, I actually jumped in the conversation. I normally don't. Like, I stay off politics. I used to, and I got away from it. So I normally just like ignore it. But like, it was just like, kid, do you know the number of hours that it's going to take the artist to do, and you don't want to pay them up front anything? Like, good luck. And like, I looked at the comments, and like all these artists were like saying the same things. I'm like, okay, I don't really need to say anything else. He's either gonna get it or he's not. But yeah, the amount of hours to like go into one page, and that's not like including, like, if you look at my thumbnails, most people would be like, you're taking your thumbnails too far. Like, why are you adding in all the shit? Like, because I need to see it. It's weird. You know, it's, I don't know.
You know, you would die if you saw my thumbnails. Little stick figure.
No, I wouldn't die. You know what? I would be envious because I envy the fact that you can do that. That you can just put that simple thing down and then you create a beautiful piece off of it. So, like, I'm amazed at me. I'm like, I gotta like pencil. I'm inking. I'm like, this is just a thumbnail.
Well, you know, we used to do that. Like, have you ever seen David Mazzucchelli layout
No.
for it was Batman Year One?
Okay.
Dude, I look at those like, wow, those are like a work of art right there. It always reminds me of like those half-finished Michelangelo back drawings and stuff that they did. As if they almost look like that, and I'm like, okay, and he still like went past and beyond that. But some people are weird that way, you know. It's like they gotta see it small, or at least half size.
Yeah.
And you know, almost like, yeah, I have to see it this way before I draw it full out. It's like, you know, I just don't. I mean, I can see it, I understand it, but I just couldn't. I couldn't do it because I've done it in the past, and I'm like, holy cow, man, I really don't need to be drawing these like this.
Especially because I'm doing this myself.
Yeah, man, it's like you're just killing yourself.
So people should probably get this book in 2036.
So really, listen. So when you're doing like layouts and stuff like that, the biggest thing that you really want to focus on, and I'm done with this page, so let me just open up
Okay. Looks nice, by the way. Looks awesome.
Yeah, thank you. All right, so let's take here, let's your light box right now, I think. Yeah, so good. So we'll be able to do this. All right, so let's look at that center panel right there. So this is how I would lay that out. Okay. All right. So what I would do, all right, and then I figure out. So how is my action going to flow? Is it going to flow this way? Is it
Right.
going to flow this way? It's going
Right.
to be
Right.
straight up the middle. All right.
Right.
Am I going to
Yep.
come higher? So do I need to move my horizon line up here or down here? All right. So once I decide that, all right, let's look at your drawing. So your action seems like it's coming from over here. See where I put that X?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So then what I would do is I would just grid out just really loosely like this. All right. And then I would put my guy in there, right? I would put my main figure here, but this is about how I would go. All right. And then I would say, all right, well, I gotta fit that guy's face in there because he's reacting to it. So it looks like you have him. He's a little bit lower, or he's crouching. Is he crouching?
He's down on the ground.
He's down on the
He's
ground.
in the forefront. But I can already tell you. Let me show you how I'm going to change that panel already.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't flow. In other words, I look at this afterwards. Like I'll look at this. I'll do it as I'm doing it. But then when I go in, I start to actually design the page. Like I'm going to take his face, and because I want this to flow to the next panel, I'm going to have him point, looking downward. So I want his eyes to go this way, down to the next panel. So I can already see like things where, like right now, that's to me that blocks the flow of the page the way I have them set in the original. You know what I mean? But I don't think about that stuff until I think about it a little bit, but I don't think about it heavily until I start actually designing the page digitally. It's weird. Well, go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, that's good. So all right, so then here's where we're doing that.
Yep.
Then we got so we're still using this. Okay. Yep. And then I see you got some people in the background.
Yep.
So what I would do is I would just block in. All right, and that right there would be about the extent of it. Now I could maybe do like a table. Okay, well, yeah, then maybe there's a table here or something.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever. Maybe there's freaking bookcase or something back here. Whatever it is. All right, and that's it. So then I would take this, right? I throw another layer up.
Right.
All right, and then I would go in and start
your pencils, right?
Drawing.
Right.
All right, kind of take it mostly tight. Okay, then I would just another layer. Boom, I'm making it.
Yep. And then you're ready. Yeah, I do the same thing. The only thing is I spend a lot of time on, as you could tell, more than I probably should, because the way you do it is like classically the way I've seen people do it. It's just for some reason I can't leave it like that. Like even though I know exactly what you're doing, and even though it makes 100,000% sense and it saves time, my brain just does not allow me to do it. You figure that one out. Yeah, probably because I want to sell a thumbnail book.
No, that's fine, dude. I mean,
I know. I think it's a confidence thing, though. Like I really do. I think that you have the years of experience, you have that confidence, so you probably know, like better for you where you're going to go with that panel. Whereas I'm still like, if I left it like that, like, oh, okay, I got to detail this more instead of waiting to the pencil stage, which just makes more sense.
Like this right here, I already see it inked.
Yep.
I already know what it's gonna look like. But you'll get there. Trust me. I mean, I'm not familiar with how much comic panel work you've done in your life.
Not a lot.
So, and I think that's where it is. I think that the illustrator side of you,
yes,
okay, is getting hung up in the drawing part of it.
Yeah.
But comics, it is knowing how to draw, but more than anything, comics is about flow.
Yes.
It's about moving the story along.
Yes.
And you know what I'm saying? And so
I enjoy that part. I
love that part too. That's like one of my favorite parts. So
yeah.
I was talking yesterday on the crowdfunding stream with Simon Potier, I think his name is, and you know we're talking about that same subject. And shoot, I just lost my train of thought. I'm old.
That's my line.
What was I saying? The hell?
Talking about the flow, telling the story.
Yeah, about the flow. So I was saying to him that there's definitely people that draw better than me, but I know that I can tell a story well.
Right.
When people look at and read my comics, one of those things, and I've seen people reading my comics that I've done, and the biggest compliment that I can see observing someone reading my comic is just them turning the pages.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They're reading it. I know they're reading it, and they're just kind of flipping the flip pages. They're not kind of like looking and turning their head a certain way to try to figure out, well, what's going on the page. Yeah. You know,
that harkens back to Eisner, Will Eisner, and how Eisner did like a lot of the shadow. If you look at like, there's like no dialogue, and he could yet tell the story so well. But the drawings, the drawings weren't like Jim Lee level, blah blah blah, with all the detail. But you could tell what was going on, and it kept you engaged.
Yeah.
And I think that's like the most important thing.
Yeah.
Like, is being able to do that flow and to not trap the eye anywhere and just keep the page moving and the story moving and the person being able to tell, well, this is what's going on here. I'm not good at it.
Yeah, but it comes with practice.
Years.
it comes with practice.
Yeah.
But that's why I'm saying that your layouts, those need to be. That's where all the fire and energy needs to be for flow, for clarity, and then you start putting the pretty stuff on top of it.
Yeah, I agree. I'm just, like I said, I don't think I'm at that confidence level where
you'll get there. I have complete confidence in that.
It makes perfect logical sense, and it'll save time. It's just my hand and my brain need to work together on it.
Yeah, no, it's all good, man. They will.
Yeah. Over time.
All right, brother. Well, I'm gonna call it.
Okay.
All right.
It was good hanging out with you, man. Anytime.
No problem. Hey guys, remember, check the links in the description. I've got a campaign running on Indiegogo for Chango the Broken Veil, and for whatever reasons, if you prefer Kickstarter, we got one of those too. So please head on over there and support it. Make a comic. As you can see, I'm making comics. I'm doing pages. Okay, I'm not screwing around here. Very clearly, I'm getting things down. So I'm going into page 33 next, which basically means that I only got 23 little old pages to finish.
That's fantastic.
They'll be done. Yeah, they'll be done. 56 pages, just like that, people. All right. So support the comic. Get over on Indiegogo, or if you prefer Kickstarter, get on a pledge level, and by all means, go ahead and do that. I just want to thank my unexpected but special guest tonight, Jim O'Reilly. And you saw some of the stuff that he's doing on his ultra detailed layouts that he's gonna be bringing out to you. I'm busting his balls.
I can take it, man. I can take it.
Jim's a good guy. He's a very talented artist, and he's got a neat story that he's going to be putting out and bringing out to you guys. So definitely check that out and keep an eye out for it. So once that's all set, buddy, we're good to go. All right. Hey, listen, guys. Once again, thanks again, Jim. If people wanted to reach out to you, how could they find you?
Several ways. They can follow me here on YouTube under my name, Jim O'Reilly. They can also go to theartofjimO'Reilly.com, and I have some links there that they can follow. Facebook, same thing, all under my name. So
awesome. All right, guys. El Guapo Comics on Twitter, The Art of Cesar Feliciano on Instagram, and The Art of Cesar Feliciano on Facebook. And if you just want to be regular old friends with me, you can send me a request over at my Cesar Feliciano Facebook page. I'll take a look at it. And as long as you seem like a solid person, you'll get a confirmed back. Okay? Anyway, listen, guys. Be cool, be solid. And yeah, that's all I got for you. So good night and stay guapo.